All right, catching up. Well, we can stay on the same topic. I know a lot of people aren't thrilled with Joseph R. Biden Jr. as a president-elect. We went over this. But if nothing else, the man's not a dick. You may think he's old. You may think he's not entirely lucid. You may think he's creepy because he is pre-COVID, it was very handsy. Fine. But he's not a dick. And that has been a number of people's really chief complaint with the incumbent. Donald Trump was good for lowering taxes, creating a very pro-business environment, but he's a dick. And he undid a fair bit of the positive things, in my opinion, undid a fair bit of the positive things that he accomplished by not taking COVID seriously. In fairness, I did not take COVID seriously in the beginning. Way back, as far back as like late January, my mom, who is a hypochondriac, was warning me about coronavirus, or coronavirus, as she says, because she's Japanese, and still very much has the accent. And I would be like, Mom, shut the fuck up. That shit's in China. I didn't think it was a big deal. So, I mean, admittedly, I was wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm not the president, clearly. So it's a little bit easier for me to admit that I'm wrong, I guess. But yeah, I think if the incumbent president, had responded better to COVID, or at least not contradicted that which was said by numerous scientists, medical professionals, FDA commissioners, if he hadn't refuted all of those things that were based on scientific study, or in some cases fact, then I think he would have won re-election. I genuinely think that this election was the president's election to lose, and he lost it. I still think he'll probably come back in 2024. I think he'll come back in 2024. But if he doesn't, then I still think that he is very likely to play Republican kingmaker or queenmaker. That is to say that even if he does not run for re-election, he very clearly still has a very large, very wide base, and he will likely retain the power, if he chooses to exercise it, he will retain the power to put forth or endorse the next or any number of Republican candidates, down ticket even. Come midterm elections, if someone is in a very Trump base state, take your pick, then getting an endorsement from the former president, because let's make no mistake, you may not like the man, I don't, but he is still the current incumbent president, and come January 21st, he will still be a former president. He is, or will be, still referred to as President Trump. We still call Barack Obama President Obama, or maybe former President Obama. But he is still a president of the United States. Tricky Dick Nixon is still a former, was a former president of the United States. So, I mean, I said it before. I don't like the incumbent president, but I and most military personnel, I'm sure, will agree, you salute the rank, not the man. So whether you like the guy or not, he is still a president of the United States. So, anyway, he has or will have the power to be king or queen maker for the Republican Party. So if someone, like I said, is in a Trump state, he will surely have the power to throw his political weight behind that person. Again, whether it's down ticket or for high executive office. So Donald Trump is not going anywhere despite having lost re-election. I sincerely doubt, aside from the fact that he has said as much, and that he does not intend to vacate the White House. He will at some point, one way or the other. He will be back, probably endorsing down-ticket candidates and maybe running for re-election in 2024. And if not, he will surely throw his weight behind someone there. I don't want him to fight tooth and nail to try and stay in the White House after January. I don't think that's a good look for him or for the party. Yeah, I don't think that would be good for anyone. I really don't. I mean, it doesn't look good for a former president to be effectively squatting in the White House. So hopefully someone talks some sense into him, or he comes to the realization on his own. Whatever the case is, just don't want it to be any more of a protracted battle than it needs to be. There are a lot of people, especially people that I've worked with or that I work with, that have said in sum and substance, well, Kamala Harris is going to be the 47th president of the United States well before these next 4 years are up. That's entirely possible. But I think that most people that voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris recognize that that is a real possibility. I mean, Joe Biden will be 78 years old when he assumes office. I don't think anyone that voted for him doesn't realize that he's fucking old. I mean, sure, I know the guy likes to jog onto stage. He did it at his acceptance speech tonight, and I was genuinely worried that he was going to trip. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I was genuinely concerned that I just don't want him to trip. As someone that had an elderly father, I was always worried about my dad tripping and falling. Granted, my dad was 10 years older than Joe Biden, but I saw my dad trip and fall a number of times because he insisted on walking by himself, walking without a cane, in this last couple of years without a walker. Knock on wood, Joe Biden is healthier than my father was by a good bit, but I was still a little bit concerned to see him jogging. But look, if he can do it, he can do it. Let him do it. So, I don't think anyone that voted for Joe Biden thinks that it isn't a possibility that the 25th Amendment at some point is invoked. 25th Amendment being the constitutional amendment, where the president can hand over the reins to the vice president. I mean, that is the seldom used, or one of the, albeit seldom used, functions of the vice president. Hopefully it won't happen, but you never know, and that's why it's there. That's why there's a vice president. That's why the 25th is there. But I will say, although Joe Biden is not known for, let's say, being the most eloquent public speaker, he's certainly no Obama. Although Joe, as well as some might say, is not the best on the mic, he was pretty good tonight for his acceptance speech. He only tripped himself up maybe once. He was focused. He was good. He was on it tonight. I'd certainly like to see more of that. In fairness, it was obviously a rehearsed speech, whereas, debates are obviously not rehearsed, or you can prep for them, but they're not rehearsed. Yeah, but he was good. He was good on the mic. I am, at this moment, now looking forward to seeing who will make up Joseph Biden's cabinet, especially if the Senate stays in Republican control, which it very well might. But we won't know until January for the two runoff elections for both Senate seats in Georgia. Georgia, which currently is flipped for Joe Biden. Final tallies are not in, but could very well be well and truly flipped for Joe Biden. So, yeah, those two Senate races are going to be very, very interesting. I'll get into the Senate races and the implications thereof in the next video, I think, because this one is just about done in... Not yet. Here we go. All right. See you next time.